Guys, can you finally hear me? I think that everything should be working now. Before I'm gonna start talking, let me just check the YouTube. Yes, we should be finally going live. And yes, we are. Guys, I'm so sorry. As you can see, we are in a little bit different environment as we are usually. We are in a little bit different studio. So before we're gonna start, I'm gonna tell you what happened. As you know, or as you can see, I'm already back to Prague. I should have been in Dubai for another around 10 days, but I had to deal with something urgent, so I had to get back into the Prague, or to Prague. But before we launched today's stream, literally like 10 minutes before we started, we got a problem with electricity in the studio, so we had to set up a brand new studio very quickly just to start up the stream. But we are back finally. Everything should be running. You should be able to hear me, you should be able to see me, and you should be able to see my screen. Let me just check it. So today we probably won't have a perfect look of the camera, we won't have a perfect sound, but why we are doing this live stream is that we want to educate you. That's the number one thing, and we're going to show you, or I'm going to show you my plan for the upcoming 5 days on free pairs. That's what we do every single Sunday. So I'll show you some of the levels that I'm paying attention to, what happened this week. I'll show you a setup that I was posting to Billions Club Discord literally last Friday that played out absolutely perfectly. And we will also do analysis in a prime market terminal, because plenty of you were asking if I can do like a breakdown of it, how to use it, etc., etc. So guys, you know that I have my own free YouTube channel. Let me know if you want to hear it in English. We will do it here on the Billions Club. But if you are from Czech Republic, let me know here down in the comments, and I can do a free tutorial on how to use Prime Market Terminal, how to do like a basic fundamental analysis, creating some bias on pairs that I trade, so on pairs that I have experience with. But without any further ado, let's start today's live stream. Let me just check the comments. Can you leave the subtitles enabled of your videos lives? It would help me a lot, because I can translate and understand your vision better. Thank you anyway. Hugs from Brazil. Oh, that's amazing. I'll try to do that. I think that it's actually on. I'm trying to enable it now. And it should actually be enabled. I see it right here in a YouTube settings. Anyway, let's start. The most important pair for me, obviously, Bitcoin. I love Bitcoin. I keep trading it on a daily basis if I have some setups, which I don't have a lot lately. But BTC is coming up very, very nicely, potentially sweeping a huge amount of liquidity. So let's check it out. Someone says that it's a better sound than from Dubai. This mic is pretty solid, I gotta admit. But yeah. Anyway, let's just check Bitcoin first. I'm gonna show you where we currently have a major amount of liquidity and where I'm targeting from the start of the week, because as you can see, we are getting a pretty nice move to the upside during weekend, which is usually not a sign of strength. So I would honestly expect BTC coming down from the start of the week, but you can't really base your bias or base your plan just on this. We got to go a little bit more in depth, and that's what we will do on today's live stream. But before we do so, let's just zoom out and let's just pay attention if Bitcoin retraces to at least 382. Because a 382 retracement or 382 Fibonacci level is going to be the key area, key zone on a chart where Bitcoin should be going, should be retracing before considering BTC as ready for a next move to the upside. And obviously everything can happen. You always need to keep in mind that we can BTC price can extend much higher from there without hitting the 382. It's just my kind of a rule, or my tool that I use after a heavy move to the upside. Usually the asset is retracing at least to 382, then I consider buying again, then I consider it as enough of a retracement, which we still don't have on a Bitcoin. That's why I keep paying attention to that level. But anyway, as you can see, we have this for our supply. That is mitigated already, and I wouldn't really see it as a valid level anymore. Tapped, no need to keep it on the chart. Let's remove it. Let's focus to next level. The next level that we got is this for our demand right there. Some liquidity sitting below these lows. Is there plenty of it? I wouldn't say so. Going down to the 15-minute time frame, here it starts to be much more interesting, much more important. So we basically got an IBOS, pretty perfect change, no doubt about it. This is now the internal low that comes on a Bitcoin chart, and the internal high is not really formed yet. Is this still a strong low? In my opinion, yes, it is. Very, very clear level. This is now going to be a weak high. And one could say my weak high would be around here, which, fair enough. It's not really clear up there. We have this level and we get plenty of liquidity. I have this marker that says major liquidity. So major liquidity is sitting around this level. And I'm going to tell you why. It's pretty easy reason behind it. I was just thinking that if you guys know how to use order flow, but if you know me, if you follow my free YouTube channel, then you should be able to. We just got a huge amount of shorts. And let me just take a sip of a drink here. We just got a huge amount of shorts in the market, and these should be kicked out before creating any major move again. So if you check this, you see that basically the huge amount of shorts were opening from around till this point there. So this 35,200 is definitely a major area on a chart that I would love to see being taken down. If we can sweep this level and potentially create trapped value area, so TVA setup, it's going to be the best case that we could potentially have here on a chart. When looking at the net longs, also major factor here, we still got plenty of them, and I don't really believe that they will make the money, basically. I would expect that they're going to try to do another rotation down, potentially even lower. But before they do so, in my opinion, they will be attacking these levels to sweep the liquidity from the market. So for me, there is a very simple and easy scenario that I'm currently looking for, which is going to be moving up to around this zone here, sweeping the liquidity from the market, and then coming down back to test this strong low, back to test this demand. Can I be wrong? Yes, absolutely I can. BTC can blast off to the upside. We are going against the trend. It's just considering the liquidity and considering the probabilities. If we're going to check the TPO profile, do we have anything major here? There is no poor high left at all. There is a plenty of, or one poor low left here. Sorry, not plenty, which is from Saturday. And once again, considering the weekend range, I would actually expect Bitcoin coming down again. This is not really a place for buys, in my opinion. So currently, if we check the CME gap, it's going to be around 34,000. Is CME gap something major? A lot of people say that, it's a huge confluence for them. Guys, listen to me. If you will be trading just the CME gap, you won't be a profitable trader. And that's just a fact. CME gap should be like a bit of a confirmation for you if your buys are kind of correct or not. But if we go to the PMT, we can check the DXM on a Bitcoin. Why it's not doing anything now? Okay, so here we got it. So the data that you got on a Bitcoin are kind of limited. That's for sure. I'm just checking that we don't even actually have the DXM. There is a one way how to do it. It's obviously reading the open interest and reading the delta with the net longs and net shorts on the exo charts. So that's one thing on a Bitcoin. PMT for Bitcoin is not really the best. I was actually thinking that the DXM is here, but it's not, because lately I wasn't doing a lot of TA on a Bitcoin because there is just not really any like a high probability setup that you can take on a chart. Unfortunately, I would love to take some decent setup on a BDC, but there is none. But anyway, just presetting key zones, which is definitely going to be this area here, this 35,000. I would like to be taking a short out of here. Even if we just step into this and create a trapped value area. You guys know what trapped value area is. If you don't know, then visit my course. If you are not from Czech Republic, then visit some of the previous live streams that I did here on Billions Club, because I was explaining the trapped value area setup quite a lot of times already. Can I ask you, please, what are the blue boxes with some sideways lines? Looks like volume. Blue boxes with sideways lines. I have actually no clue what you are talking about. Byl by to super, ano. Zvuk lepší jak z Dubaje. Yeah, I was reading this already. What indicator do you use? Fixed range value profile. This is the visible range volume profile. It's not a fixed range volume profile. We're talking about this one. This one right here. I think the subtitles are not possible on live streams. If they, it will be here later on the record. I actually think so too. I wasn't 100% sure, so I didn't want to say it, but I think that you are right. So anyway, guys, write down the plan. Currently, we are looking for this zone. The target would definitely be at least this 33,900 area. Like, you know, it's going to be kind of hard to say what's going to happen after this, because we can definitely just sweep this local liquidity and continue upside again, which could be one scenario. Obviously, one scenario could be shooting through this level and moving higher again. Not a potential scenario. We'll see how things goes. But for now, I'm being bearish on BDC, and I kind of have a high probability setup of price coming down back again. Let's check gold. The situation on gold is, you know, in the last few days kind of hard to trade, hard to really find some high probability trade setup, because the trades that we are getting, they were not really high probabilities. Sometimes, you know, gold really volatile because of the war in Israel, and plenty of things were happening. So like, if I look back at what was happening in Dubai, like we are doing so many things, plus gold being in not a really perfect scenario for taking intraday trades on gold, I should have stayed out. And I can't, like, now I can be honest about it. I should have stayed out. I shouldn't be touching gold, and I got a little emotional after hitting like so many consecutive losses on gold. I kept going against the trend. I was thinking that we are getting finally the retracement that I was waiting for, and we didn't. But lesson learned. I'm in a decent drawdown now. I'm trying to get back, and hopefully I will be able to show you how to get back from such drawdowns. I took a break. I took a 1 week break from trading, and I'm ready to get back into it. It was really a good lesson for me, because anytime you are not really 100% focused, you are not really in the zone, let's say, the consequences are kind of big. And really the impact that it had on my trading was really huge. And October was one of the worst months from my trading career, unfortunately, from the career when I started trading funded accounts. So once again, lesson learned. There is nothing like giving up. And I believe that I will get this account back to the break even. We'll see how things goes. I will keep you updated. I will keep you posted. But that's the current situation. Let's get back to the chart. So gold, we obviously break through the structure again. So this was a BOS. If you guys know what was the plan in the Discord, I was exactly looking for this move up, and we got it pretty perfectly. So now the strong low is moving to around here. The internal low, kind of hard to say, but I would say this is going to be the internal high and the internal low on a chart. Using the mechanical approach, one could say it's too tight. I would say it's okay. We should be getting a retracement to at least a 382 again. So the 382 is going to be around 1997. And if you look at the historical data, the historical price section, you see that we are hitting a very important zone. And I mean extremely important zone. Like this 2006 on a 15-minute time frame, it doesn't look so good. But if you look at a 4-hour, I'm looking for a move down on gold, definitely. Like 4-hour, this is a huge supply that basically flipped this whole trend. Started this very impulsive movement down, sweeping the liquidity from around here. And this is a major level on a gold chart. And I would read some data for you from the DXM, reading what is currently happening on a retail trader side, what is happening on a smart money side, and what can we take from it. But I personally think that this could be the retracement point on a gold chart, and we could be heading lower. The one thing is, you are going against the trend. And remember what I was saying literally, 2 minutes ago, that going against the trend doesn't really give you a high probability trades. But if you look at a 4-hour time frame on a gold chart, there is not really any retracement, and I think this is finally the point that it's going to get some retracement. We swept plenty of liquidity from this range, and I would be looking for a move down to create something like this. I can be totally wrong. Of course I can, but this is a high probability zone. Not really high probability trade considering the local structure. I'm going to show you how to play it in the safest way possible. But if you look at a PMT, and we can read the data on gold, which are much more helpful than the ones on Bitcoin. Then reading the XM, we still see that the 68 of retail traders are still short. If we look at the open interest, it keeps getting lower, lower, and lower. So a huge amount of positions are not really in the market anymore, or not being opened anymore that much. If you look at the seasonality, oh my goodness, I can't read. Seasonality, we are heading into a November. And from the past, November is pretty much break even or pretty much around zero. Do I pay a lot of attention to the seasonality? Not that much in months that are around zero. So, very, very hard to say. It really depends on a gold chart on what news we will be getting about the Israel war. Like that's very, very important, and the Israel's conflict will have a huge impact on that. If you want to know a little bit more how to do an analysis on a PMT, then usually the things that I check is the DXM. That's the number one thing. Then I look for the seasonality, which is another thing. Usually you pay attention to the major months. So basically, major month for me would be September, for example. September, as you can see, red in basically almost every single year from last 5 years. Then if you check, for example, July, positive month, same as October. Positive month, usually. We can say it right now because we got 8% rise because of the war. So, that's something to keep in mind. But seasonality is is a small confluence to your big confluences, to your big bias. Another thing, you can check a market structure. Do I really pay attention to it? Usually not that much because I just check my market structure on a chart. Apart from that, trend, kind of clear. You can check what is the trend from the EMA perspective. I'm not really doing that. What I do a lot though is you can be reading these PDF files, and what are they saying here? That's pretty helpful for our trading. But a very important thing is the session recap tab up here, where you can see the recaps on each pair. That really helps you a lot in terms of some intraday trades. I'm not really using it for a Sunday focus because usually you are not getting that major news. But when you have some major news event and you don't really know what you should expect from that, just open this and you'll know. Like, that's how easy it is, actually. I'm just checking if everything is running well. Hopefully it is. I think it should be. Anyways, let's finally check the gold chart. So basically the plan that I would have here is breaking through this internal low would be absolutely key. And then we are looking for a move down. If you want to go even lower to a lower time frame, then this is the one zone that needs to break before coming lower. And that is this 204 to around 202 zone. That is very important. I believe that gold will be rejecting down the same way as it did last Monday, which if we check the Monday's chart, we literally created the high during the Friday's evening. No, was it where was it? Right here. There is a Monday open, and as you can see from Monday open, we continue down. We get a very nice rejection during the Friday high, obviously. But you need to keep in mind that we are hitting a very important zone in terms of a 4-hour, in terms of a daily. So I would be expecting move down on a gold from around here. And we are basically looking to something like this. Back to the naked POC, 1980s is potential target. Does it look sensible on a 4-hour chart? Yes, it does. Absolutely. So yeah, this would be my plan. Once again, you are going against the trend, so keep that in mind. Is there any better level to aim for? Not really, in my opinion. Okay, let's check EU. EU is the last pair, and for our time frame, I'm still a bit more bullish. On EU, we are hitting this huge demand zone on a 4-hour time frame. We are getting a very nice bounce out of it. Currently, the level that is rejecting the EU price is obviously this one right here. So this level is very important. We are sweeping some liquidity, or we swept the liquidity already. And I think we are heading down again from the start of the week. We will apply the PMT into this, and we are checking a few things. So the COT is not really telling us that much, to be fair, because we see that it's kind of a break even, or even on both sides. DXM though shows us that plenty of people are still long, which is a major factor for me why I'm being a bit aware of another move down on EU chart. Apart from that, if you check seasonality, nothing really major in November. Well, a bit more bullish on EU chart, but just reading the market structure and reading what is currently happening on EU chart, considering the liquidity sweep that you got here and considering the current structure, EU looks a bit more bullish to me, and I would be actually looking for a move up. You want to implement into this a DXY. So the DXY flipped the structure right here. That was a major move down that a lot of people are completely overlooking and not really paying any attention to it, which is a huge mistake in my opinion. So break of a structure, one could actually say that this was already a break of a structure. This is exactly the type of a break of structures that I don't really like, because it's not really clear. It's just like a kind of swept liquidity. So we want to put the high around here. That is a strong high. This is now going to be a weak low. Just from a simple market structure perspective. I just want to know where we are currently. Okay, so this is good. Like everything is kind of lining up for EU potential move up again. Even when checking the DXY chart, I would actually look for a little move down again, like preferably to around this zone here. It really depends if you can get here, but this is like a bigger block, bigger zone that you need to be aware of on EU chart. Considering the naked profile, the naked POCs from volume profile, we don't really have a lot of it because the naked POC that was created here is taken down. And apart from that, we don't really have a lot of it above. But liquidity is swept. That is one good thing. Current structure is going up. This could potentially be your trade on EU chart. Looking for something like this. Very simply said. If you look at the Lux Algo indicator that I'm honestly just starting out with, there is not really a lot of it. This level got rejected pretty nicely with sweeping the liquidity from the market. But that's about it for now. So guys, let me know what you think about the plan. Oh, the stream stopped going. I'm going to check it afterwards, but I think the stream should be okay. This is the plan. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for participating on today's stream. Let me know what you think about the plan. I will do a recap inside the Discord. And this is it for today. Don't forget to join the Discord because that's where I keep you updated. That's where I keep you posted with all the intraday plans and with my trades. So join here and see me how I trade, see my plan, because it can help you a lot, to just create some plan or compare your plan to mine. Thank you so much and see you tomorrow in the morning.